difficult situation ahead. There's a decision that needs to be made. The two paths ahead look almost identical. You have very little time to make a decision. And the issue is a matter of life and death. So in this situation, God to decide in the 21st century, can we trust HL? Well, this video is exactly about that. Hi, my name is Vahan, and in this video, inside how I made a decision in a very difficult situation I was in, I will try to share it with you. Maybe if you are in a similar situation, it might be able to offer you a humble idea. About 11 years ago, one evening while I was heading home from work, I bought a phone, and the phone changed a lot of things in our lives. Because during that call, I learned my father had cancer. I learned that I have lung cancer. Now, cancer is something we hear about a lot around us. We overhear things said. It's something we catch snippets of in conversations. But human, until it happens to you, you don't actually know what it truly is, how things work, and so on and so forth. My father had stage 4 lung cancer. And as soon as we found this out, of course, we immediately started researching, looking up natural remedies online, this and that. People start to think about everything, all kinds of things that can be reached at once, searching for answers, and wherever possible. Like, how can we get through this? What does this mean? How does it work? Will he recover or not? Wondering what will happen, I entered this process, quickly diving into non-stop research day and night, browsing websites, phone, trying to find doctors we knew, and so on and so forth. But in the end, we found a really good doctor. He had excellent references. So we went to him. Tests were done. More tests were conducted. The stage was determined and so on. And at first, the doctor showed us a treatment plan. The situation's complicated. Now, cancer itself, it already sounds scary, just hearing it. And it was the same for us. The situation was already frightening. But one of the large tumors was pressing against his aorta, so it was a very dangerous situation. In other words, they were saying that aorta could rupture at any moment because it was being compressed very forcefully. An immediate action needed to be taken. Something must be done soon. The doctor was saying that it was necessary, and he laid out a treatment plan. First this is done, then these will be done, and after that, this kind of result would be monitored. If nothing was done, they said my father only had a few months left to live. And even if something was done, there was no guarantee that at any moment this tumor could potentially rupture that vessel. So the situation was complicated. The doctor presented us with a 7-step treatment map. In cases like this, people try to reach out to other doctors. We tried to contact other doctors by phone. We sent the reports, we sent that, and so on. Meanwhile, especially in cases like this, I came across a doctor on the internet who is quite renowned in Turkey for this field, found online. In fact, not just in Turkey, but across Europe. He was a very famous professor. He even had a treatment method that he himself invented. As I said, he was renowned even in Europe. He was a well-known doctor. It wasn't easy to get an appointment with him either, but we prayed for it, asked a few acquaintances and so on and so forth. And within a few days, I was able to get an appointment with him. And I went to that appointment alone. We sat in his office with all of my father's medical reports. The man examined all the reports very humbly and carefully. He looked through them. He measured, evaluated, and so on and so forth. And then he laid out a treatment plan in front of us. He said, first, a surgery is needed. Another surgery is needed. This must be done. Do this needs done. But the problem, as I mentioned, was that my father had previous health issues. He had suffered a heart attack. There were a few other health problems too. So naturally, the situation was a bit complicated. He also suggested a treatment plan with about 6 or 7 steps. And at that moment, first time went from the first doctor we had visited as well. So to say was, look, we also went to this other doctor, and he made a suggestion like this as well. As soon as I mentioned the name of that first doctor, he recognized him, said, yes, he was my student at the university. So the doctor I was sitting in front of then was the professor of the first doctor we visited. He said, yes, I know him. He's a very good man. But he said, if you follow the treatment method he suggested, you'll lose your father within a few weeks, he said. He'll die on the table. He said, he'll die there. That's not right. You need to quickly follow my steps. He said, you have to throw it away. And at that moment, I started to feel really bad. Can you imagine? First doctor suggests a treatment method, and another doctor who was his mentor says, don't go down that path, don't do it. You could lose your father quickly if you take that route. I learned all this and immediately went to the first doctor. I said, look, I met a doctor like this and this. He also said, oh yes, I know him, he's my mentor. I said, look, he also suggested a treatment method like this. And when that first doctor looked, he said, that's my teacher. I respect him a lot. I know him, but if you go down that path, you will definitely lose your father within 2 or 3 weeks. That post-surgery body, that heart patient body can't handle that path. You should follow my way. And at that moment, I felt like I had fallen into a pit. Why? Because in their own fields, under their own specialties, two famous, two respected doctors, two doctors who know each other, one is the other's teacher, are recommending two completely opposite paths. And each of them says that the other's treatment, they say it is truly fatal for, one says, if you go down that path, your father will die immediately. And the other one says, if you go down the other path, your father will die immediately. And the issue is a matter of life and death concerning your father. I don't know if you've ever been in such a situation and you have to make a decision about which one you will go with. And unfortunately, of course, in situations like this, to third and fourth, 5 ideas, consulting different perspectives is good. But even when we did that, we couldn't get any results. We were tangled. We were stuck in the middle of a messy situation. And as I said, I really felt like I had fallen into a pit. I don't know if you've ever been in such a situation, in a matter of life like this, where you had to make such a difficult decision. Been in a situation? Then I wanted something. Sometimes people just want this kind of thing. Like, I wish the ground would open up and swallow me. That feeling, because having to make this decision is such a heavy burden. At that moment, so many possibilities run through your mind. Like, you make a decision and then really 2 weeks later, bad happens. How are you supposed to cope with that? Or you go the other way and something even worse happens. Dealing with the guilt of that was just too much for me. This happened, and the issue was about my father's life. How do you make a decision in a situation like this? Of course, that day, I didn't have a clear answer to this. I felt trapped. It was Saturday afternoon, and I came home, and I remember on my shoulder, like I had 2 trucks on one shoulder and 2 on the other, 3 airplanes on the other. I felt like I was being crushed. I couldn't sleep at all that night. And when we couldn't get any answers from the other doctors, we asked that night between Saturday and Sunday. I couldn't sleep at all. On Sunday, I went to church and asked the whole congregation, and I asked my pastor to pray about this. We prayed about it at church, about how we could make a decision. But still, everything was very foggy. It was all uncertain. We needed to start treatment on Monday. We had 2 conflicting pieces of information, and we didn't know which path to take. We don't know. What do you think? What would you do if you were me? Somehow, after I got home from church, I was thinking, praying, and so on, and somehow I thought to myself, okay, if God exists, if he is alive today, and if he loves us, as it says in the Bible, as we hear in the sermons, and not being distant and uninvolved, but someone close to and who cares about us, then surely he will help us with this decision. That's what I thought, and I made up my mind as follows. That day I would pray. I would pray at night. And I would even share this with those around me. I shared it with my mother, and we also shared it with a few close friends we trust very much. We said, please, for this decision of ours, pray for us, because the next morning we have to make a decision. And when we wake up in the morning, I will call each and every one of you, and God will tell you which way God has given you peace. I will ask you about it. So with this in mind, on Sunday, I prayed all day long, and I prayed at night as well. I couldn't sleep very well. I just couldn't fall asleep and so on. But anyway, I somehow dozed off. And the next morning, Monday, I woke up. That day, we made a decision. We will either go to this hospital or we will go to that hospital. Either follow this doctor's path. Either we follow this doctor's path. But it was a very interesting experience. When I woke up in the morning, it was as if a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I felt a great joy inside me, as if birds were fluttering in my heart. It was like I was not in that difficult situation, and everywhere around me It was like a spring garden. I woke up with joy, and it felt like I was sure about which doctor we should go to. We should go to first doctor, not the one who was a teacher, but the one who was a student. We should continue with that doctor. That's how I felt. But I didn't tell anyone about this, and I started making phone calls one by one. First, I called my mother. Then we called 2 or 3 friends whom we had asked to pray for us. And it was very interesting. All of them were certain about that doctor, as if they all had 100% peace of mind about it. There was total agreement among them. Whoever I called would say, we should go to that first doctor, we should continue with him. Whoever I called, none of us ever said, maybe not that one, but this one instead. Everyone seemed so sure about it. It was as if Jesus Christ had put the same thing in all of our hearts. And we truly became certain right away, somehow. And we started to continue with that first doctor. We started in treatment. So it went like this. What happened as a result of this work? Both doctors, the treatment is too risky, that the treatment was very risky and that we could lose him within a few months. My father lived for another 2.5 years. God gave him the gift of 2.5 more years of life. Gifted. And it's just simple. Just 2.5. It wasn't actually about living a year longer. It was as if our relationships, the wounded parts of our relationships, we had the chance to mend them. Talking about things we've never talked about before. We had the chance. The relationship between my mother and father is in a completely different dimension. It went on. They had the opportunity to express their love for each other much more and to serve one another, each other. My father with his granddaughter, my daughter, he was able to spend more time with her. More importantly than all of this, my father, in his relationship with God, a brand new season. It was as if God renewed their relationship. My father started to pray more. He began to give thanks to God. He started singing hymns, and he began to see God's goodness in his life. Of course, I would have wished for my father to still be alive today. But still, those extra 2.5 years that God gave him, many areas of our lives, like healing, it felt like healing. And today I'm truly grateful for those incredible extra 2.5 years. Now let me get to why I actually made this video, because I was searching for this question. In the 21st century, can we still take refuge in God when making decisions? Can we still trust in God? Because sometimes scientific data, whether in medicine or other fields, doesn't always give us a complete answer. I mean, while some data points to one path, some data also point this way, and no matter how much you research, no matter how you investigate, sometimes those 2 paths or 3, way 4, the road may look the same. So how do you make a decision in situations like this? Do you rely on your feelings? Or we can't just make a decision by saying eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's talk about the subject as a matter of life and death, right? That's why now when I look back today, when I made that decision that night, that Sunday night, in the bed where I tried to sleep under such a heavy burden, turning to one side in bed, then to the other, unable even to breathe from the weight of it that night, I know God was with us, that He visited us, and that He guided us, showed us the way. Understand that night God was with us, and what God did changed something in our lives. And the God who indeed did that on that day can still do it today, and He does. I hear you asking this question, spoken aloud. So what if you had gone to the other doctor? What would have happened? Do you know? Yet you talk like this. The truth is we don't know. We have no idea about the path we didn't take, right? For example, you take a certain route to work. You have no idea what was actually waiting for you on the other road. You never know. But we have to choose a path. Naturally, we don't know the road we didn't take, but the road we did take brought us great joy and great blessing. So we don't know the road we didn't take, but we know that the road we did take has been a blessing and a joy. We know that it is. So maybe you too, as well, are in such a period in your life. You have to make a difficult decision. Maybe there are 2, maybe 3. maybe even more paths ahead of you, and no matter how much you think about it, no matter how much you research, you can't reach a logical choice. You just can't find your way out of this situation. In that case, I can say this. I think you should bring your heart before God and sincerely ask Him. Because if God is still alive today, and according to the Holy Book, God loves the world very much, then even today He is willing to guide you. He wants to do this. He loves to do it. The Holy Book refers to God as a loving Father and also mentions the sky. Our loving Father likes to guide His children. He truly delights when His children consult Him. So if you are in such a difficult situation, bring this matter to God. And I believe that He will guide you. In fact, before finishing this video, I would like to pray for you as well, if you would allow me. Is that okay? Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, I thank you currently watching this video, whoever they be. And I don't know the situation they are in, but you know what kind of difficulty they are facing. You know why a decision needs to be made, then you know exactly what kind of decision they need to make. Maybe my brothers and sisters are feeling stuck. Maybe they feel burdened, but you can lift this burden. Please guide my friends and brothers and sisters who are watching this video. Show them the way with your compassion. Deaf them. Just as you lifted that burden from our shoulders that day, I pray that our brothers and sisters will take this burden off their shoulders. I do in the mighty and living name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Dear friends, thank you for watching the video. Hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye. Stay well.